Welcome to Special Moment with Dr. Eunice. There's a new edition talking about family life, husband, wife. How well do you love your husband? How you should treat your husband? How you should treat your wife? Well, before we talk about the husband and the wife, let's look at this Bible verse that says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 says, Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. The question is, how should the husband love the wife? Ephesians says, love your wife, even as Christ. Meaning that you are to love your wife just the way Christ has loved the church. The Christ is a typical example of the love of Christ is a typical example of the love that families should have. The way that Christ has loved the church. If you look at verse 27, it says that he might present to himself a glorious church, not having spots or wrinkles or any such thing. But move down to 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. Men are to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife loveth himself. That's the command from the scripture. That you should love your wife just the way you would love your own self. That's the way you are to love your wife. What we read earlier, 25, says that love your wife as Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church? Christ loved the church unconditionally. The kind of love you are to shower on your wife should be the unconditional love. Not because of what you are benefiting, not because of the profit, but a love that comes from the within, the unconditional. Christ loved the church, the sacrificial kind of love. That's the kind of love that the husband is expected to love the wife. The sacrificial. Your love needs to be sacrificial. That's how Christ loved the church. And Bible made us understand in verse 28 of Ephesians 5:28 says that so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. The things that you cannot do to your body, you shouldn't do them to your wife. Love your own body. I'm very sure that for your own body, you treat your body with so much love. You would nourish your body. You will cherish your body. So that same thing that you want for yourself, you do the same for your wife. When you love your wife, you have indirectly loved your own body. If you do not love your wife, it's as good as not loving yourself. Moreover, why take up someone's daughter when you do not have love in mind? Why would you keep someone's daughter, pay dowry, bride price, and not want to love such a person? You need to love your wife sacrificially. Ways you can love your wife sacrificially. Number one, shower her with affection. The greatest need of every woman out there is love. Shower her with affection. So many women out there in marriages are frustrated, are tired because of how unromantic the husband is. Their husband, their men. Shower your wife with affection. If I may ask you, if you don't shower your wife with affection, who are you reserving the affection for? Is there any other person that has taken the place of your wife? Show her the affection. Shower her with love. Treat her nicely. The Bible commands the husband to love their wife. By so doing, you are not just treating her nicely, you are also fulfilling the commandments of God. You're also fulfilling the plans of Jehovah by loving your wife. So if you are in the category of those persons who do not love their wife, you are indirectly offending God. If you know you will not love your wife, there is no need going to pay back price. If you have to keep your wife, then be ready to show her the love. Don't take someone's daughter into your house and begin to maltreat such a person. That's wrong. Show your wife. Don't say my wife knows that I love it. I love her. Don't just say it verbally. Don't just assume it. My wife knows that I love her. There should be actions that are backed. Back it up with actions. Even God loved and He gave. Christ loved the church and He gave Himself. Back up your love with action. Don't just assume it. Dear men, dear husband, listen to your wife. How well and how often do you listen to your wife? Sometimes you may seem or see it as a disturbance, but the truth is you need to listen to your wife, whether it is making sense or not. Women love it when they are heard, when they are given the opportunity to speak. When you hear, it doesn't mean that you are to carry out every details, everything, every spoken word. Just give her a listening ear. It could make meaning, sometimes it could not make a meaning. But do you know that if you don't give your wife the listening ear, some other person will do that for you? And you know what that means? It is not healthy for a family. Give your wife the listening ear. Listen to her. Sometimes it could make a lot of sense. Listening to your wife makes her feel loved. Give her the opportunity to air out her views. Women love it when they have the opportunity to be heard. Give her the opportunity, the fair hearing. Allow her speak her mind. Allow her express herself. I've seen some families where a husband doesn't allow the woman to speak up, not in a rude manner, but in a very polite manner. Allow her to speak. I've seen where husband would just tell the wife, "Shut up! What nonsense do you have? What idea do you have? Do you know better than myself?" All of that is not healthy for a good relationship. Give her the listening ear. Let her speak. Even if you wouldn't take it, even if you wouldn't accept it, let her speak. There could be sense in that nonsense. Give your wife a listening ear. Women feel loved when they are being heard.